It's that time of year when film festivals are starting to fire up, and as a film critic, I could not be more excited. This is where I thrive the most in my coverage, and I've loved covering past festivals for my outlets such as Sundance, South by Southwest, and others. And now I'm excited to announce that I will be covering the 2025 Fantasia Festival for the first time, which is an incredible genre festival located in Montreal where the best and the brightest in new independent and genre-specific cinema come to showcase their talent and technique with select audiences everywhere. I cannot wait to dive into this festival's lyrical and madcap world, which is why I'm so honored and excited to cover it for you all this year. With that, the official slate of films playing at the festival is sure to surprise, delight, and shock audiences everywhere, which is why I wanted to present my top 5 picks for films I am most excited for out of this year's festival. Limiting it down to just 5 was a hard task, as there are so many to choose from, yet these are ultimately the picks where I'm really excited to see what awaits. If you like the content you see and want to make sure you stay up to date with all my movie-related content, including my upcoming Fantasia Fest coverage, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. With that said, let's jump right into the list. Starting off the list, we're taking a look at the new Netflix animated film Fixed, which is directed by animation veteran and master Genndy Tartakovsky. As a huge fan of Tartakovsky's work on the animated series Primal, I'm always interested to see what he brings to the medium with every entry he releases. Yet I'm also looking forward to this film because of the long and meticulous road that the production was on leading up to its release. After being first developed in 2009, the movie was shelved until 2018, which means that this film has been in concept and production for over 16 years at this point. So the fact that it's finally receiving the love and admiration it deserves at a festival such as Fantasia really gives me hope for the film. With a talented voice cast including Adam Devine, Idris Elba, Catherine Hahn, and many others, and a surprisingly visceral and cartoonish art style, this is definitely a movie that I'm anticipating checking out for sure. I saw that this one was picked up by Netflix, and I think that's a perfect home for such a madcap and over-the-top film such as this. And I can't wait to see what awaits when I take that journey. Next on my list, we're taking a look at the new documentary feature film from filmmaker Alexandra Elkin titled A Pied du Mar, which follows the subject herself, who is actually Elkin, as she attempts to rock climb the infamous rock face of El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. As a huge fan of both the American national parks as well as the 2018 documentary Free Solo, I'm immediately interested to see how Elkin pulls off such a premise and feat with ease. One of the most interesting things about documentaries such as Free Solo is how it transports audiences directly into a viewpoint they otherwise wouldn't have, which is right alongside the subject as they traverse an impenetrable granite rock face. So I'm hoping that Elkin and her team bring that visceral style and execution to this film as well. I'm looking forward to seeing the end product of the film overall and whether Elkin succeeds in her attempt to climb the wall as well. And I'm sure audiences are looking forward to that as well. Up next on my list, we have an upcoming horror comedy film, Queens of the Dead, which is directed by Tina Romero and stars Katie O'Brien, Jaquel Spivey, Jack Haven, and more. With the news that this quirky and offbeat thriller has been picked up for distribution by the horror streaming label Shudder, I could not be more excited to see what awaits within this film. And it looks insane. Taking place inside of Brooklyn as the inhabitants fight to survive a zombie apocalypse outside, this is the exact kind of indie horror premise that gets me excited for the films under this genre-specific label. I'm expecting not just some visceral bloodshed in terms of horror-related elements, but I also hope the film is able to instill some sort of a comedic edge to the material that makes it stand out from the rest of the films of this caliber. With a knockout cast attached and George A. Romero's daughter attached to direct, this is sure to be a zombie flick you won't want to miss. I know I'm looking forward to it. Continuing on my list within the vein of horror thrillers, up next we have the new film from writer-director Julie Pacino, I Live Here Now, which stars Madeline Brewer, Cheryl Lee, and Matt Rife. Based on the premise provided on websites such as IMDb, this is sure to be an intense ride from start to finish. A woman arrives at a remote and isolated hotel only to find her troubled past comes back to haunt her. And I don't know about you, but this premise immediately gives me David Lynch vibes and I am interested 100%. And I'm interested to see how the cast in particular pull it off, especially with performers like Matt Rife involved who are usually known for their comedic sensibility. With an intense and foreboding atmosphere being promised by the marketing material, this is surely a film that I cannot wait to check out at the festival. And finally, rounding out my list of my most anticipated films of this year's Fantasia Festival, we have the Ari Aster directed Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal starring COVID thriller Eddington, which is being distributed by indie powerhouse A24. Aster is a master within the horror genre, and this much is apparent by now. Even though not all of his projects have been slam dunks in my opinion, you can't help but admire the way he really goes for it and takes creative risks, which is why I will be there to support this film day one. Following a small town sheriff during the height of the 2020 pandemic as he struggles to restore order while battling a new mayoral candidate, this is the type of hard-hitting and sharp-biting satire I look forward to from an artist like Aster. With a talented cast of standouts attached in a gloomy and claustrophobic atmosphere, the movie looks like it will be a tense and surreal trip from start to finish, and I cannot wait to embark on that journey myself. And that's my list of my most anticipated films at this year's Fantasia Festival. As mentioned, I will be covering this year's festival's press, so if you want to stay up to date on all my coverage of all of these movies and many more at the festival, be sure to click the subscribe button and like the video. In addition, check out both the festival's website and social media pages, which are linked down below in the description. With that being said, this is Mitchell signing off.